Hello, welcome to the channel, and today we are doing our weekly Wednesday comment review. I have 3 comments from each of last week's 7 videos, and we're just going to dive in and discuss some stuff today. If you want to be in these videos, leave a comment, you might get in there, and of course, like and subscribe, that would be really cool. We will start here with RDD48 saying the set is cool, referencing BT20 2.5, whatever. The power level is better than EX8, but still doesn't feel like the biggest jump I've seen on the game. The problems still persist. For example, why am I going to play the Seeker's Fenrir over the old? And that's a good question. Honestly, yeah. This set is not going to be a game-changing set. You know, when you think of sets that changed the game on a fundamental level, where the power creep went from here to here, what sets to come to mind? I don't know. BT7 with hybrids, BT9 with X antibodies, BT16. Like, those are sets that come to mind just like that when it comes to thinking about power. So yeah, it's okay that the set doesn't have a crazy power level. I think it's fine. It might need a ban list in order to make certain things in the set more relevant, and this guy kind of hints at that. We are due for one soon, so anytime now. John Fileobua. I have no idea. As just one player, I actually like most of the new support. Sadly, they are shying away from building a wide board, but it also means you use less sister mons since they have less value. While I do think the deck is not the best, BT20 just making a Digimon of no level and decoy is surprisingly useful, and letting an 8000 DP Digimon is even better. If you are just one player, obviously you're eating well in BT20, and you should take advantage of what this guy is saying, because it does look like good advice, for sure. Chasm. It's been a while. I'm not checked out of EX08 already. It's a pretty cool set. And this guy's not a competitive player, so he's probably coming at it from the casual stance, which is fine. You know, the Digimon community can't only run off of sweaty tryhards. We also need the fun casual duelists, which this guy is. You know, they buy the cards for different reasons, not necessarily to win regionals, but just to have fun at locals and enjoy themselves. So that has to exist, right? Karak is dead. Listen, buy pre-sale alt arts if they are low-ish. That's always the interesting factor, eh? What is low-ish? Do you know what is low-ish? You know, I can tell you that a lot of the pre-sale alt arts from EX8 are down from where they were pre-sales. I think all of them are actually right at this moment of filming this, because I'm kind of working on my market watch already, and yeah, it's just, you know, what is low-ish? Yes, there have been some times where some alt arts have exceeded pre-sale value within a week or so of release. I'm not talking about like long-term things. Like, for example, you might buy an alt art of a card, some $20 alt art, that will eventually become like 40, 50 bucks because of hype. That's different in my mind. That's more of an investment. But still, the pre-sale rule applies to everything. Yes, you will get the odd alt art that does break the rule, just like in EX8 we had the odd foil that broke the rule. And that's okay. You know, all rules have exceptions for the most part. That's fine. It's all about being safe rather than sorry. You know, I'd rather not take the risk at all in the one in whatever chance that I might get lucky with a pre-sale. You know what I mean? It's just not worth it to me. I'd rather be financially smarter and apply the more consistent strategy, which will down the road apply the more consistent fun making. And I would say, like, not even to that, like, it would be roughly around the same amount of profit or even more, just going good old consistent route rather than hoping on alt arts. You know, that's just crazy to me. Beals Buns. I bought the pre-sales once a year ago, and I still regret it. Just listen to Mario. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And a teen here says, oh, but Mario, we are getting Rapidmon Ace. It's coming out in 2.5. It's not really going to help the deck, but we're getting it. You know, I'm going to be real with you. A few people commented this, and I did blunder. This is a card that we are getting in 2.5. We are getting Rapidmon Ace. And yeah, it's not really that good. If anything, it's more of a generic green level 5 ace. That's just a good piece to have. Not so much like a Rapidmon card. You know, You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I was wrong. I forgot. I will take that. The casual bang says Mario's always calling himself an asshole, but look, he's not. He is nice and considerate where it really matters. A good, ethical man just tells people how it is. The cold hard truth, which I also think is a good thing. Mario, you're a good man. Well, thank you. I can be an asshole. You know, I have definitely ruffled some feathers with some people because of the things I say and the things that I do, and I'm fine with that. You know, because at the end of the day, I'm doing what I'm doing because I'm doing it the way I want to do it to maximize value for everyone else. You know, if I have to occasionally poke fun at someone to make a point or, whatever, yeah, is that being an asshole? Yeah, it kind of is. But, like, is it in the spirit of, good, wholesome fun and or education? Always. Yeah. I'm not really a dick to just be a dick. There are people that are dicks just to be dicks. I am not a dick just to be a dick. I am a dick that will allow the growth of other people. Kind of sounds dirty, doesn't it? But yeah, no. I know I'm good. I know I am. But I do have asshole tendencies. Absolutely. But it's always for the better. DMark Gaming. As always, solid advice and good examination of the situation. Something I think that could be tacked on is that they are looking at speed and expediency. They think that they want to make sure they'll have all the cards they need day of release or as close to, rather than wait till release day, hunt out all the pieces they need, or having to wait longer to play a deck that they're excited for. Do I agree with it? No. If it's an option, it's far better to go to the store on release day and buy and trade there, or buy online that night. Yes, he is right. And this is true. I think I kind of touched on this. People think that buying the pre-sales a week before the set comes out like gives them priority status. It really does not. Yeah, you put in your order first, maybe first come first serve, but things are still going to be shipped out at the end of the day. Like, it's not that much of an advantage, if any. It's just not. It's not. Max Apera, I care about Mario. I care about you too, Max. I'm always thinking about you. Like, we never talk anymore, we never write anymore, but you're still in my heart. Oh, there you go. Vindy's Warts. The stonks are stonking. We need a rat or tamer cards. It's been over 20 sets now. Yeah, we're getting one. We know we are. So that's good. We love to see it. Boardman XCI. Whoa, wait, NSP hype? Did I miss a crossover or something? Sick. Ninja Sex Party Ninjamon. Let's go. A lot of people in that market watch just said NSP hype because I was like, don't say NSP hype. Sure enough, there were comments of people just saying NSP hype for no reason. At least this guy elaborated on it, which is cool. I don't believe in the NSP hype. Nope, don't believe in it. No, sir. Give me the beard. Oh, I got tanked so badly this set. 4 boxes, I got 3 regular secrets, alt medieval gallant, and my other alt arts were hot garbage. Aegis, 2 Pyramidy, 2 Piedmon, and Hercules Cobitarian Boutmon. My only other good alt was Gillex. Which is not enough, right? Sure, you got 3 regular secrets and an alt secret. That's great. But that's not going to carry your 4 boxes if the rest of the box is this stuff. I would double check the foils to see maybe you break even or did a little bit better, but it shouldn't have to be that close at all. And you definitely should not get tanked. Like, that is just not a good experience for anyone. Mr. Spartan. I don't think Magna X should be hit because the deck already was hit by Hammer Spark and Awakening being restricted. The tribal version of the deck isn't fast enough, and the Digivolution costs prevent you from keeping turn to swing in most cases. The card has had to rely on other engines to make mana viable, i.e. Imperial Yellow Vaccine engines. Furthermore, doesn't Digivolve up to level 6 for 3 memory from level 3, just like some of these purple decks do. Magna X is just as fair as Gallant at this point. Leave my boy alone. This is going back, this was the comment video last week. And this is going back to the video I made talking about my ban list predictions. Like, it was at the bottom, almost at the bottom of my list. I don't think Magna X is going to get hit. I think it should get hit. Because the card promotes unfair practices. But I don't think it's going anywhere. And kind of for the reasons that Spartan mentioned here. Like, it's already got a few hits under its name just to play the deck. And, it is what it is. Interestingly enough, though, on the counterpoint, Ash's Fall, who is normally our comment section troll, actually has something of value to say. I can honestly say I've never lost to a Gudamon with my Magnamon deck, which I believe, right? When unstoppable force meets an immovable object, hey, that's the Dark Knight reference. What happens, right? Agudamon being the unstoppable force and Magnamon being the immovable object, right? Just depends on how you play it. And, I truthfully believe that this guy, he might be lying, but I do truthfully believe that his Magnamon deck has never lost to Demon Lords. I actually believe that. Because of the way the deck plays, because Magna X is just kind of broken. You have these two broken secret rares going at each other, and one of them just cannot be removed, right? So, like, what happens, if they remove security, Magna X activates, like, you can't go for game. So, like, fundamentally, Magna X seems like a good counter to Demon Lords, but, it's a good value. It's a good conversation anyway. Quartzman. The point has been made several times to errata Galaxy Tamers, locking them into the archetype. I personally think this will solve the problem, and I'm genuinely curious what your stance is on errata versus limit. Some card games errata their cards to make them more fair and to bring them back. Yu-Gi-Oh! Does it. And I think that's okay. I think that instead of doing maybe choice restriction lists or whatever all the time, maybe just errata the cards. Make an exception to the rule. Make them archetype specific. And, I'm going to be real with you. Making them archetype specific will effectively limit the use of the card. Like, it will effectively ban the card for every other deck that uses it, or every other way to play the deck that uses it. You know what I mean? Some people won't agree with that in the comments, and that's okay, that's fine. But, at least give the Galaxy deck then more support to kind of flesh themselves out. Because the Tamers are very good, and they do very cheap things, and all of that stuff. So, I'm for errata in a very rare exception basis. I think this would be the exception. But, yeah. Grand Pacha. Bandai needs to take a similar approach to Pokemon and start getting up booster packs, boxes as boxes too. The pricing for events always seems a little underwhelming with just the regional final special packs. This is interesting, but I want to read Eagle's response first. For a $30 entry, we get much more value per dollar in Pokemon. I'd only want to pay more per tournament entry if it means we get 2-day events more frequently. I don't think that matters. Eagle's point. Like, it's kind of like comparing an apple with an orange, which I've said before, you should do because they're fruit. But in this sense, it doesn't really apply. What attracts people to Pokemon? Like, people go to play Pokemon tournaments. Why? To Eagle's point, the entry participation pricing usually isn't that good. I mean, comparatively to Digimon, I guess, on a per dollar basis. He is technically right there. But I don't think people are playing Pokemon because of the participation. They're playing Pokemon because of the anticipated output of doing well in an event, which will outclass Digimon. Not like One Piece right now. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with One Piece at this current exact moment in time. But, like, it's for the prizing. It's for going the distance and getting prizing in return. That's why. That's the exact reason why people do it. And even take away, the prizing. You also have the incentive of World's points. That is also prizing, but that's not something you can cash in. That's just something that you get. You actually have a chance of going to Worlds, which is a lot more prestigious and a lot more feels good than top 2 people at Nationals go. I think that also speaks for itself, But the end result, Pokemon has better prizing for their top cut than Digimon does, and that's why. That's it. And, 2-day events would be better. Absolutely. More Digimon events should be 2-day events. I support that fully. Are we going to get that, though? I don't know. Gucci Breh. Core TCG confirmed it will be in Southern California and Pasadena. So that is a plus. Just wonder how turnout will be since you still have the drive through LA with those forest fires. But it's in March. Who knows? Maybe the fires stop by then. But yeah, it's an in-person event. So the first regional of the year for North America is in person, which is great. Unfortunately, it's in California. So if you're in, like, say, Canada, it becomes a challenge. But, at least there's, so far they're 1-for-1, 100% conversion rate on in-person events. They just need to spread these out a little bit. They can't always be California. I know Core TCG, California. I know. I've heard it. I don't need to hear it again. I know. But, to give other players more of a chance, that'd be pretty cool. Absolutely. Klong Right. Right away, the issue for me is the in-person regionals for Canadian players. Thank you. Historically, 4 years of data, there has not been a great in-person regional event support in our country. Neither events a 401 in-person Toronto and an MSG Burnaby. That's it. While my LGS on Van Island has applied, there has been zero chance we'd be allowed to host. Regardless, trucking to Burnaby isn't that hard, but they don't offer them. There has only been one. So other than that, we got a road trip to Seattle and pay USA prices and travel to Zulu Boarding Cafe, which shout out because those guys are dope and it's one of the coolest shops I've ever been played in. So the main argument though, while I'm excited, there seems to be more events coming, seems to benefit the Americans and not Canadians outside Toronto. I would be willing to even go further on that. Barely does it benefit Canadians at all. Yeah, maybe Toronto is the hot spot, but not by a lot. As you mentioned, how many in-person events have we had around Toronto for regionals? 2 ever, I think. That's just pathetic. You know what I mean? Bandai really needs to start caring about Canada. Honestly, there are days where I wake up and I think to myself, why am I even still trying in Digimon when the company just doesn't seem to care about Canada? And I know I'm not the only Canadian that thinks that way. There are others, by the way. Not going to name names. Some Canadians, have thoughts like this. It's not just me. I've talked to people. And it sucks. You know what I mean? Bandai relatively supports the United States a lot more than Canada. And some of you might say, but Mario, why? Well, the reason is the United States spends more money on the cards than Canada does. It's that simple. So, Bandai is going to go where the juice is worth the squeeze, which in their opinion, based on the dollars, the raw amount of money that's coming in, it is the United States, right? And United States is bigger than Canada, which is part of the reason why. So unfortunately, us Canadians are dealt an unfortunate hand when it comes to Bandai and their affection. We kind of have to work with how it is. As this guy indicates, he has to drive to the States. I've had to drive to the States or regionals. Both events that I've won were in the States. They were not in Canada. So I understand. I get it, and it really does suck. I'm hoping that Bandai can turn the tide on this soon. Because, eventually people in our part of the world will lose interest. How many times do you have to get burned before you take your hand off the stove? You know what I mean? Moving along. Mario, please, LOL. I don't remember if you said you were going to start giving us listeners a little bit more accessibility. When we're driving to work, we can't see the card that you're talking about when you say the card is exploding. I'm like, what's exploding? He didn't tell me the price nor the card, LOL. Just a small request if possible from Soldier First Class. To which a couple people said, yeah, why not? So, you know what? Honestly, this is a good point. I've gone ahead and added it to my Market Watch template that I have for Market Watches. Use card names during Market Watches. I'll be looking at this now when doing Market Watches. So I will have a higher percent chance of reading the card names out loud, as opposed to saying, yep. Honestly, I take the feedback seriously, and this is a really important one. This is not just get better, scrub. This is actual, good feedback, especially if I want to take the channel to more of a podcast route. I gotta be a lot more descriptive with the language. So I will thank Soldier First Class for this. You should be seeing some changes. And everyone else is concerned about it too. 30 likes in the comment is, for real, a lot. Taurus Fire. Another reason not buy pre-sales, at least pro plays, they might not have all the stock they say they have, and end up canceling your order after 2 weeks. Happened to a few friends. I've actually heard that before, and it's stupid. Yeah, shame on them. They should get better. If they're going to do the pre-sales, they better fucking make sure they have the cards. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I understand. I get it. And it's really unfortunate. But what are you going to do? And lastly, Nuhan Muzio Zabal. I'm surprised at the Gallantmon X hype. Wasn't expecting that would cost us that much, given the deck's reputation, and it being a card I saw people pull all the time for boxes, even at 2 in a standard and altar version. I'm glad it's having more results due the deck needs more love. I don't know what that means. Look, Gallantmon is a fan favorite anime character, which is part of the reason why the hype is so high. People will apply their biases from anime, their copium, to stuff they like more, which is Gallantmon, right? Everyone knows what Gallantmon is. Not everyone knows who Creepymon is. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the way it is. And, again, people pulling it all the time according to you, right? That's just very segmented, right? Because I know people who didn't, like, pull barely any Gallantmon X's from a single case, let alone every other box. So, like, it's definitely hit or miss. But anyway, yeah, it's just hype born from the fact that everyone loves Gallantmon. That's all. That's all it is. Anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you later. Bye.